A Canadian Music Resource Guide at curlie. Chapter 1. Canada Music Resources. Big Canada Music websites at curlie.org/en/regional/north_america/canada/arts_and_entertainment/music/directories. CanuckIStanMusic.com. Features reviews of live and recorded Canadian music plus special feature stories including Canadian book and movie reviews. monkey.boy.com/cmusic/index.html, Mars Subway. Canadian Music Artist Directory, indexed alphabetically. Canada Music website categories at curlie.org/en/regional/north_america/canada/arts_and_entertainment/music. Subcategories. By province or territory. Anti-music. Awards. Bands and artists. Business. Charts. Clubs and venues. Composers. Concerts and events. Directories. DJs. Education. History. Instruments. Karaoke. Magazines and e-zines. Military. Organizations. Radio. Resources. Reviews. Shopping. Styles. Women in music. CanadianBand.org, Canadian Band Association. Find provincial band associations at CanadianBand.org/members. Canada Music Resources at curlie.org/en/regional/north_america/canada/arts_and_entertainment/music/resources. Composers.ca. Resources for Canadian songwriters, composers, and musicians. SlateMusic.com, Slate Music. Supporting Canadian musicians. Helping Canadian music entrepreneurs develop digital platforms and services. Canadian music organizations at curlie.org/en/regional/north_america/canada/arts_and_entertainment/music/organizations. Canadian University Music Society. muscan.org. x.com @musecansoc. orfcanada.ca, Carl Orff Canada Music Education. afmccmusicians.com, AFM Canadian Conference of Musicians. camac.ca, CAMUC, Canadian Amateur Musicians. A non-profit organization for musicians, singers and instrumentalists, of all levels to meet other musicians and to make music together in a relaxed, non-competitive atmosphere. cdja.ca, Canadian Disc Jockey Association. Not-for-profit trade association for disc jockeys across Canada. cfmusicians.afm.org, Canadian Federation of Musicians. CFM, formerly referred to as AFM Canada, is the leading professional organization of its kind available to Canadian musicians. cemamusic.ca, Canadian Independent Music Association. Trade association supporting independent Canadian music. cmrra.ca, Canadian Musical Reproduction Rights Agency. Issues licenses and collects royalties for the use of music on CDs and other products. cstm-sctm.ca, Canadian Society for Traditional Music. Dedicated to the study and promotion of musical traditions of all communities and cultures, in all their aspects, particularly in Canada. vcn.bc.ca/cvp the Canadian Vocal and Performing Arts Society. A non-profit society that promotes, presents, supports, and provides opportunities to young artists from British Columbia. choralcanada.org, Choral Canada. An association of and for Canadian choral communities. djin10.tripod.com, Disc Jockey Information Network. Free Canadian DJ directory and supplier links. Factor.ca, Factor. The foundation to assist Canadian talent on records. glengould.ca, Glenn Gould Foundation. Promotes international and Canadian awareness of Glenn Gould's artistry and his ideas on music and technology. HuronCarol.ca, The Huron Carol. Tom Jackson, founder of the Huron Carol Benefit Concert Series. Promusicca.qc.ca, La Société Pro Musica Inc. Organization bringing chamber music to Montreal. MusicCanada.com, Music Canada. MusicCanada.com/resources. Advocate for the interests of Canadian music and its production. OperaNuova.ca, Opera Nuova. An association of operatic vocalists providing training to emerging opera artists and offering operatic performances to the community. OC.ca/N, Orchestras Canada. A non-profit national support organization for Canada's orchestras. SingCanadaHarmony.ca, Sing Canada Harmony. A registered charity established in 2008 to unite Canadian a cappella singers through service to youth and children in schools and communities. SOCAN.com, SOCAN. Society of Composers, Authors, and Music Publishers of Canada. Collects royalties for all Canadian publishers. SOCANFoundation.ca, SOCAN Foundation. Grants, awards, and programs in support of the Canadian music industry. SODARAC.ca, Society for Reproduction Rights of Authors, Composers, and Publishers in Canada. A collective management society within the meaning of the Copyright Act. SODRAC represents authors, composers, music publishers, and creators and co-creators of artistic works. Songwriters.ca, Songwriters Association of Canada. Features a member directory, events guide, and membership information. Canadian Music Award websites at cully.org/en/regional/north_america/arts_and_entertainment/music/awards. CSHF.ca, Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame. JunoAwards.ca, Juno Awards. Official site of the Juno Awards and the Canadian Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences, CARAS. Find Canadian bands and artists at cully.org/en/regional/north_america/arts_and/entertainment/music/bands_and_artists. Click a letter. Subcategories: Alberta, British Columbia, Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, Ontario, Quebec, Saskatchewan. By style. Directories. Tribute bands. Canadian band and artist websites. Canadian Staff Band.ca, Canadian Staff Band of the Salvation Army. Based in Toronto, Ontario. Groups.google.com/g/alt.music.canada, Google Groups, alt.music.canada. Discussion Group. National Youth Band of Canada. CanadianBand.org/nibhome. Find Canadian nightclubs and music events in some provinces at cully.org/en/regional/north_america/canada/arts_and_entertainment/music/clubs_and_venues. Subcategories: Alberta, British Columbia, Ontario, Quebec. Canadian concert websites at cully.org/en/regional/north_america/canada/arts_and_entertainment/music/concerts_and_events. Subcategories: Celtic, Country, Folk, Jazz. World Electronic Music Festival. Guides. Bratmusic.com, Brat Music Festivals. Founded in 1988 by conductor Boris Brat, the festival holds about 45 concerts in Hamilton and area each year, featuring the National Academy Orchestra among others. CMW.net, Canadian Music Week International. Music festival, conference, and exhibition with thousands of music industry participants from around the world. 350 bands and 35 clubs over 3 nights. Held in annually Toronto, Ontario, Canada. JazzBluesEdmundston.com, Edmundston Jazz and Blues Festival. An annual celebration of the rhythms of jazz, blues, Latin American, and funk, held in June at several locations around Edmundston. EvolveFestival.com, Evolve. Annual 3-day festivals held in Antigonish County, Nova Scotia, featuring some of North America's best improvisational bands and DJs, and promotes socially responsible living. musicfest.ca, Music Fest Canada. Students and educators from across Canada together, over a one-week period, to celebrate excellence in musical performance. artsinmuskoka.com, Muskoka Music Festival presents a summer concert series in the Muskoka region of Ontario, featuring classical, jazz and a variety of other performers in intimate venues. NessCreekMusicFestival.com, the Ness Creek Music Festival. An annual festival, held in July to celebrate music, arts, community and ecology in the boreal forest of Saskatchewan. Saskatoon. NXNE.com, North by Northeast. Large festival dedicated to new and upcoming music. Rootsandblues.ca, Salmon Arm Roots and Blues Festival. Annual 3-day event in August featuring folk, blues and world music artists in an outdoor venue in Salmon Arm, British Columbia. Canada Music Style category websites at culi.org/en/regional/north_america/canada/arts_and_entertainment/music/styles. Subcategories: Bluegrass, Blues, Celtic, Children's, Classical, Country, Dance, Electronica, Folk, Hip Hop, Jazz, Opera, Rock. BajazHri.com, Baj Shrivays. An Indo-Canadian musician, dancer, and choreographer who presents work that reflects her North Indian cultural influences. BluegrassCanada.org, Bluegrass Canada. Bluegrass Music Association of Canada.